Hey friends, on today's episode, we're going to cover a super well-done portfolio. It's actually, I would say, an Apple-like portfolio. Let me give you a quick scroll so you can see what we're covering today. It's the portfolio of Semih Yilmaz, and it's a really great portfolio. We're going to break it down both on the kind of the strategy level, is this doing good work for Semih, and also on the visual aspects of it. There's really great things that you can take away and use in your portfolios here. There's also some things here that I think can be improved. So let's rock and roll. Hey friends, welcome back. I'm glad to have you. My name is Ran Segal. Welcome back to Flux. As always, we're covering design and freelancing here. So if you like these kinds of videos, make sure that you click like so that we know and YouTube knows that you like this kind of content. Let's dive into Semih's portfolio. So first, I want to cover this from a strategic perspective. Like, what is Semih trying to do? Is he trying to get freelance work? Is he trying to get into some kind of a full-time position? So to be honest, I don't really know, but when I'm going into the About section here and I'm reading a little bit about him, I see that he's now working full-time at an agency as a product designer. So he has a job. So I'm trying to ask myself, what is he trying to achieve here? There is no call to action. There is no button here that says, work with me. He's not mentioning that he's looking for a new job. So I'm not really sure what is the website for. Is it just kind of like a business card? If somebody wants to Google me, that's where they find. I'm not sure that Semih actually thought about this and he has an answer, because it looks like there is no real direction in terms of what he's trying to achieve here. I think that when you design a portfolio, you should always have a target in mind, whether it is trying to get freelance client or trying to build yourself up for the next position. It's always good to state what are you looking for and what you expect the person doing visiting your website should do. Do you want to collaborate? Do you want them to reach out? So you need to have this in mind. And right now, I'm not really sure that, he has it. Also, in terms of, the content, he's only stating to beginning designer creating digital product, which is super, super generic, right? It doesn't mean how he's different. It's very, very kind of like, I'm a designer. And then after you scroll and say, nice to meet you, with a nice photo here, he's basically saying the same thing again, but with more words, right? I'm a digital designer creating functional and delightful experience that solve real. It's basically repeating the same message again with a little bit more information. I actually think that, you could have taken just this and started with this, but I'm feeling like I'm seeing the same message again and again. So I would reconsider how to be a little bit more specific. There's some really interesting things here, about your personality and about the work that you've done that make you special. And I think it'll be very, very useful if you describe how what you're doing is special and different, because all of these things, including a lot of buzzwords that we hear from designers all around, like delightful and solve problems, these are, I think at this point, they're not really unique. Okay, so that's, I think, in terms of strategy, what can be better here. In terms of the visual design here, I think it's really, really well designed. I think there is a lot of use of a lot of white space. As you can see, there's just a lot of empty spaces, and a lot of, even here when we have a light background color, it feels very, very spacious. And I do get the Apple feeling just by using a very clean font, clean sans serif font, and the use of just black and gray as colors. Although we have kind of a little bit of tints here, I do get this feeling throughout the website. Also, when I'm clicking on the blogs, it really has this very, very clean Apple design aesthetic to it. And I like it because I think that, we need to be in the state of mind of the people that we want to work with. And if he's basically saying in the subtext of how he's designing his website, I appreciate the kind of style of minimalism and limited color palette that Apple is using, that's probably what you're going to get when you're working with me. So I think it sends the right message. I also think that when you go down into the projects here and you look into the case study, there's really very subtle, very, very simple, but great art direction. The work here is presented in this thumbnail is actually very beautiful. Very simple composition, primary, hierarchy, secondary, and third. Everything here looks really great. You move in here, you start with seeing a beautiful image of the design. You get context, and you get some more visuals. I think a lot of times we see case studies when people, here he's showing a little bit of the process, but look how impressive that looks with all the connection. It looks really, really complicated and thought out. A lot of time people put so much text and words about the process and sketching, but he's focusing mainly on the outcome, and you see actual visual designs that are supported by a little bit of text. So I think this is a really good example of case study design, right? And notice the fact that they are not aligned, the fact that there is nice drop shadow behind the devices, and it's not just screenshot. This is the sign of really great art direction, and I think the work is presented very, very nicely. So I think in terms of the design here, the visual design, Semih did really, really nice work. And you can see how simple it is, to create fantastic art direction. Just by, you have a main color, so you use that color in the background, and you make everything, you do little nice crops. You use these things to create great compositions. It's not always the screenshots are the same size. Sometimes it's big and sometimes it's smaller. There's very thought out layout, composition, and art direction here, which I really, really like, and I think he's doing really great work. Two things on the visual design, which I think has actually bothered me a little bit, is first of all this, the first experience when you're coming into the website, you see his head cropped. Now, initially, I didn't really know why. I thought maybe the photo is like this, but I see that when I'm going to the about, he actually has the whole photo of his whole head. And now this is a great composition, right? It's a great photo. You can see the hello here. Maybe it would be better if I could actually read the hello versus here. But here on the homepage, what I see is I see this, the title, and then both this is cropping and the head is cropping. So I'm not really sure about this layout. I'm not sure why he had to be cropped here. I would either put him in or out, of the hero section. Right now, it just feels a little in between, right? It's a little bit more distracting than helpful here, I think. But that's, again, it's not a major thing. Also in the About page, he has created a really nice section here with photos of himself. And that's kind of, he's been using this kind of like mouse tracking motion, which is super easy to do. By the way, yeah, he built the portfolio with Webflow. And I also understand, here's what I was about to say, this thing jumps as you move your mouse down, and then it starts to track. And that is simply because, he used a certain type of interaction, which is mouse over section. And if he would use mouse over the whole, so when you're here at the top, outside of this section, the mouse is not being tracked, but once it's here, the mouse is being tracked. So the only thing I would suggest is changing the type of interaction to track mouse movement over the whole page, so that even if you're here, your mouse is being tracked, and then you won't have this jump. But this is like a very technical problem here. Also, throughout the website, it's been using very big, powerful images, and here, all of a sudden, the images are very small. So it's kind of like, feels less powerful and potent than the rest of the imagery on the website. I would just put one or a few of these images, I would enlarge them just for the sake of having a very clear or a better layout or hierarchy throughout this section. But this is obviously beautiful. Here you see you have a big image and the text here. All the rest of the layout is, again, very fantastic. I like that he had one page which is kind of like dark mode. Yeah, those were my comments, but overall, I think this is a really, really fantastic portfolio, and you can learn a lot of great things here about layout, composition, how to be minimal and yet create fantastic art direction and case studies. If you want to check the website yourself, we'll put the link to the portfolio below this video. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know what you thought, and you're welcome to post your links in the comment below. We'll do one of these reviews every once in a while. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will catch you on the next video. Bye-bye.